This one's called the parable of the talents. Other translations, parable of the bags of gold, something along those lines. And this one's a little bit more well-known, probably. You see, a master has these servants, and he's going to go on a journey. So he calls his servants to him. There's 3 men. And they come to him, and he gives them different talents to take care of while he's gone. So he gives 1 5, 1 2, and 1 1, based on their abilities. Now, the issue is a talent isn't necessarily a monetary unit. It's not a currency. It's more of a weight measurement. So you got to go into the scholars and the smart people who have a different job than me. They're way more intelligent than I am. And they tell you that 1 talent is worth 6,000 denarii, which clears it up nicely, doesn't it? A denarii is a day's wage. So you work a day, here's your denarii, congratulations. There you go, 1 day's wage. So 1 talent is 6,000 denarii, or 6,000 days of work, which roughly equates to about 20 years. It's a lot of dough. So what you see is that this master is giving these 3 men a lot of money to take care of while he's gone. So the master leaves, he goes on his journey, and what do we see happens? Verse 16, he who received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 more talents. So this guy's active, okay? He's moving, he's trading, he's making business deals. I don't know how he does it. He's a wizard. He doubles his money, okay? He's got 10 talents instead of 5. Verse 17, next guy, he also had 2 talents, made 2 more. So he doubles it. He's got twice as much. Awesome, these guys are cruising, they're active, they're doing things, they're producing more. But then you get to third guy, the guy who had 1 talent. And verse 19, verse 18, he who received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Just buries it in a hole and leaves it there, and then just sort of sits and waits. Now, verse 19, the master comes back, and he comes back to settle accounts with them. Notice it says settle accounts. That means that the master had intention behind why he gave them money in the first place. He gave them money so that he could come back and settle up with them. He didn't give them the money for them to guard and stand guard and watch and keep safe. That's not why he did it. He came so that he could settle up with them. So you can already feel the tension of what's coming. So the master calls the servants to him, and then you see the first servant. He comes, I had 5 talents, I made 5 more, here you go. And the master responds to him in verse 21, well done, good and faithful servant. I love that verse, that's so powerful. He says, you've been faithful over a little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He's saying, you did it. You did exactly what I wanted. You used it. You produced more. You were active with it. That's exactly what I wanted. Congratulations. Here's more to do with. That's awesome. You get to enter into the joy. And then the second guy comes up. He had 2 talents, comes forward, and he says the same thing. You gave me 2, I made 2. Master responds the same way. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Great job. First 2 guys, they got it. They were active, they produced, they did things with it while the master was away. Third servant, verse 24, he also who received the 1 talent came forward, and he said, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here, you have what is yours. What's he saying? He's saying, listen, master, you're a tough dude. You're one tough cookie. So I was scared of you because I figured that if I made money, you were just going to take it all. And if I lost money, you were going to be angry. So I just dug it, threw it in the ground so it'd be safe. Here you go. Little dirty, but it's back to you. Congrats. He's trying to justify himself. Like, I didn't do anything, but this is why I didn't do anything, so it's okay because I didn't lose you money. And look at how the master responds to him in verse 26. You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scatter no seed, that you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. He's saying, listen, dude, you could have done the bare minimum of literally just giving it to the bank and making some piddly little interest on it. You didn't even do that. And so he takes the talent, he gives it to the one who has 10 talents now. Okay, but why is he so mad? Is it really that big of a deal? right? Like, he didn't lose money. He didn't squander the talent on something. Is it that big of a deal? And again, we go back to the truth that the master had a reason for why he gave the talents in the first place. It wasn't so they could just stand guard and watch it. It was so that they would use it and be active with it and produce more with it. He wanted them to use it and do things. He didn't want them to just sit there. But that's what the third guy chose. He just sat there. He did nothing with it. He completely misunderstood what the master wanted him to do with the talent. So how does this apply to the first parable? How does this tie into everything we've been saying, okay? Well, the parable of the 10 virgins, what's the takeaway? We need to be prepared because Jesus is coming back. That's the takeaway. So then what's our takeaway here? This is how we're prepared for him coming back. We are prepared for Jesus' return by living out an active faith. This parable is not saying that when Jesus comes back, we're supposed to just be sitting here staring at the wall waiting for him. He wants us to be living our faith. He wants to come back and see all of his children doing things, loving each other, taking care of each other, giving, sharing, living a life of faith. He wants to see you active. He doesn't want to see you sitting there taking the safe and lazy route. He wants you to be active with it. That's why he's so frustrated with the third servant, because he did nothing. He didn't live out his faith. He just sat there. The purpose of this parable is to remind us of this deep truth. There's this misconception in the church that missionaries are people that we bring to the front right here, and then we pray over them, and then we send them far away, and they do their thing, and that's it. We believe that. That's missionaries. They can do that. That's good for them. I love that God called them to that. That's awesome. I love that. Good for them. You're a missionary. Your life, your family, your work, your extracurriculars, everything. You are a missionary wherever you go, everything you say, everything you do. And that's what this is saying. A missionary is one who's living out their faith and who is active with their faith. The people you encounter, the places you go, the way that you carry yourself. You are a missionary. You don't just get to tag someone else with that label and send them across seas. You have to live that out too, and that's what this is saying. This doesn't give you an excuse to just sit around and mope. Oh, our world is so bad. Why can't Jesus come back? Oh, this is awful. If Jesus came back, it'd be fine. That's not the point. The point is to say, you know what? We live in a tough place. There's a lot of sin. Jesus is coming back, and I'm excited for that. But until he does, I'm living my life for him. I'm staying active for him. That's the whole purpose. That's why the third guy missed it. You have to live a life on mission. That's the purpose of this parable that we see.